Hey, what's going on, guys? Klutch here. I've got something super special to show you today. We've got a preview build of Farming Simulator 23. This is the mobile version of Farming Simulator. It's coming out later this month, May 23rd, and it's coming out for, of course, Android, iOS, and Nintendo Switch, which is the version we have right here. Now, first off, the Nintendo version, the iOS and Android version, there's a slight difference between that. The Nintendo version is considered the full version of the mobile version. Does that make sense? Well, if not, hopefully I have a chance to describe that a bit more later on. The rest of the game, like I said, we're going to go look at it all today. We have full access, so we'll be looking at gameplay, the menu system, the equipment, everything you want to know about Farming Simulator 23. We're going to dive in and take a look at it, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. As we kind of play through this, we'll do a whole playthrough and see if we can get into this, because there's a lot to show off, to be perfectly honest. It's definitely a bigger game than the previous versions. So what better place to start than right here at the main menu screen? For those who have played Farm Sim 22, this probably looks pretty darn familiar, I guess, right? Anyways, right here, this is the main menu screen. We've got a few options, but no settings or anything you can really adjust for the most part. I mean, you've got your career mode. That's where you're going to launch your loads, your save loads. You're going to have your achievements, which you can obviously find which achievements you need, which ones you haven't got yet. Below that, we've got our credits, which shows off the fine team of giants that built this game. And then lastly, the only setting you can change, which is language. You can change to whatever language you want. Now, let's jump into our career and take a look at, well, loading our saves. Boom, there you go. You've got 3 slots you can save, you can load in from. That's it. You only got 3. Now, you can see the very top one we have right there. We've got a current save right there. It saved us 98,000 bucks is what we got in our account. We've played for about an hour. And you can see the date which we saved that on. Now below that, these are all new saves, of course. The only other difference, of course, is the picture there. You got a little thumbnail that shows you which map you played on, because guys, there's more than one map now. That's right, there's 2 different maps in Farming Simulator 23, 2 base maps at least, maybe more with DLC, who knows? But 2 base maps with Farm Sim 23. Unlike Farm Sim 20 that just had the one, now you get 2. First of all, we've got Amberstone, which is the North American map. And if we slide on over, you've got New Brun, which is the European style map for Farm Sim 23. Kind of like Farm Sim 22. Just saying, sound the same, kind of look the same too, right? New Brun, we'll take a better look at this map in another video, so stick around the channel if you want to see more on New Brun. For today, we're going to be checking out Amberstone, which, like I said, is the North American style map. Now, there are some differences actually between the 2 maps as well. Amberstone is considered the tutorial map. So once we load into this, you're going to see we're going to be offered a guided tour on how to play Farming Simulator with this new game. In the European map, New Brun, you do not get this. You get a little notification saying, hey, guess what? There's nothing here. If you want to start playing, you go ahead, you can play. But if you want to learn more about how to play Farming Simulator 23, jump over to Amberstone here, and that's where you're going to find the guided tour. Now, of course, in all Farming Simulators, you can skip that, just like we're about to do right about now. You can see, we take a short guided tour, or learn the basics of the games, or you can just skip by hitting B, which we're going to do because we're going to do this at our own pace. Of course, if you want to start the guided tour later on, you can do so just by relaunching a brand new save game. All right, guys, this is it. This is Amberstone for Farming Simulator 23. Now, before we get into a whole map tour, probably better off maybe to look at the menu system. How does that sound? Let's go look at the menu system for Farm Sim 23 first. So starting from the top left, we're going to get weather as our first options. We select into that. You can see, well, we have different months and a bit of a seasonal cycle look to this. Now, seasonal cycles are not really in the game. They kind of are. It's more visual than anything. You can still plant. You can still harvest at any time, minus the rain, of course. But planting, depending on the season, and harvesting, depending on the season, are irrelevant. There's no crop calendar like you would find in Farming Simulator 22. What this does is more visual. The leaves fall off the trees in the fall. You get more snow in the winter. Snow doesn't accumulate per se, but you get colder looking weather, and the plant and foliage look like it's winter versus the summer where everything is lush and green. So that is really what that is. Of course, the top, we're seeing what the weather will be like for today. You can see at around 5 o'clock this afternoon, we're supposed to get a bit of rain. But down below, you see what the expected temperature is depending on which month it is. Now, if we back on out of this, we can go into our prices list. Here you're going to see you've got the different commodities that you can harvest on your farm, and you can see the prices that they are currently going for. Now, if I hit the X button on, for instance, wheat, we can see what our seasonal fluctuations are on what the expected price will be for each of these different commodities given the month. So for instance, the wheat, well, January and February are probably the best time to sell. Since it's currently August, I wouldn't want to sell too much of my wheat right now. And also you can see the storage for each of these in this menu. All right, if we back on out of this, we can see our vehicles. And from there, you can see the fleet of vehicles you have in your stock and how many hours, what they are currently worth, how long ago you bought them, all that interesting information. This is also the menu you use you could sell the vehicles, you can find out where they are on the map, and you can enter the vehicles directly from this menu. Backing up, we can go down to our finance menu. Here you can find out exactly how much money you made for the last 4 months, or spent for that matter. Backing back out, let's go take a look at our animals. And since we only have one chicken coop right now, that's all we have. Well, that's all we get to see. So you've got 2 chickens, 1 rooster, a little bit of information on where we stand with those 2 chickens and the rooster, if we need more food for them, how many eggs they've produced, how productive they are based on the food they've got, all that fun stuff. So any information you need to find on your animals, you'll find here as you gain new chicken pen or new pens, new sties, new pastures. They'll be added into this menu system so you can see your cattle, your pigs, your sheep, whatever it is, it'll be added in at that point in time. Hopefully we can get to that point sometime in the game here. Let's back on out and head up to the next one, which is brand new for the mobile farming simulator. That's Productions, which was just brought into Farming Simulator 22 this year, or this last game. Now we have production chains in a mobile farm sim as well. Unfortunately, since we don't own any of the production chains, we got nothing in here. Hopefully we'll get something in this menu at some point in the near future too. Moving down, we got our stats. This just tells you basically how many hectares you've worked, how much you've sprayed, fertilized, harvested, how much fuel you've used, your distance driven, bales produced, all that fun stuff. You want to find some stats, you can find them all right in this menu. Scroll down to the bottom. We'll leave settings for last. Your hints, well, that's going to show you any hints that show up on screen. So if something pops up on screen, you didn't quite read it in time or you missed it, come back in here. You can find out what the hint was that you missed out on. Go to your help messaging system, and that is just going to be the instruction manual for Farming Simulator 23. So if you want to find out something specific about Farm Sim 23 that you don't quite understand, whether it be, hey, one of these icons here, for instance, or how AI workers work, well, you can find all that information here in the instruction manual or the help options menu. And lastly, the biggest one, let's talk about settings because there's quite a bit to go through on this. Now, before we dive into the settings, we should also mention that there is a little bit of a difference between the iOS and Android version and the Nintendo Switch, which we are currently on version, being that you can't change the display quality on the Nintendo version. On iOS and Android, you can change the qualities to go between low, medium, and high. So if you want higher visual fidelity, you could probably upgrade that, well, in the menu system. On Nintendo, that's not an option that we have available to us. It's set to what it's set to. So other than that, starting with time scale. So this is just the time which the game passes. It goes as high as 45 times regular or down to real time. Now, also, something else we're going to look at briefly at this is you can now sleep in Farming Simulator 23. So it allows you to, at the end of a day, or if you don't want to farm at night, for instance, you could go to your house, click a button, and have the night phase pass by. So you wake up at 7, 9 o'clock, whatever it might be, the next day, and it just quickly bypasses that time so you don't have to wait in game anymore, which is a fantastic update. Wasn't available in Farm Sim 20. Now, as we scroll down through the rest of our menu settings, our general settings you come to expect from interactive zone markers, info triggers, game tips, that stuff can be all turned on, turned off. Of course, traffic, once again, is back. We can turn that off if you want. Just saying. Interesting settings down here. We have accelerometer settings. So if you're on your mobile device and you want to turn your mobile phone up and down to steer, you can do that if you'd like. Since I'm on a Nintendo Switch, which is in the base station, I can't really do that too well right now. The horizon tilt is the same with that as well. Sensitivities for your camera, your steering, and your camera are here, like as per normal. Our reset vehicle camera options, you've got a collision adjustment on or off there, dynamic vehicle camera, and inverted, which I tend to like. So you're going to find that setting down there as well. And then if we scroll down into units, once again, you've got some nice options here. You can choose between pound, euro, and your dollars, miles and kilometers, and then Celsius and Fahrenheit. And then lastly, acres and hectares. I do like being able to change those. And then down one more section, you've got your AI workers. And once again, all this is going to allow you to do is set your workers so that they can buy stuff as they use them, whether it be fertilizer, slurry, manure, fuel, seeds, all that fun stuff. You're going to find changes for all that, depending on how you want to run your workers. If you want to do it yourself or have them buy as they use it, you can. And very, very bottom, the sound settings, and change your in-game sound settings to how you see fit. That can all be done there. So that should be everything, I believe, in the game settings we've seen now, guys. So we're back at the main farm here in Amberstone, guys. And right behind us, we have our main farmhouse. This is our farmhouse. And for the first time in Farming Simulator, well, at least the mobile version of Farming Simulator, we can sleep now and skip time if we wanted to. So all I have to do is approach the house, hit the X button on my Nintendo, and there we go. Now we have a sleep menu. We can choose to skip time till the next time 9 a.m. is showing up in game. So if I want to go till 9 tomorrow, that would happen. I should also mention that there is only 1 day per month. So if I were to hit this right now and sleep, it would be September. I would sleep to September at 9 a.m. Just so you guys know, you would bypass a whole month basically by sleeping, which wouldn't be that big of a problem. But you could do that just by clicking on that icon at the house. Now, to the right of us, we do have the chicken coop, which we looked at in the menu. Once again, we have our 2 chickens, 1 rooster that are squawking away in there right now. You've got your trough for feeding. You've got your spot where the bales show up. And then, of course, if you wanted to buy more chickens, you could do so right at this location here. Click the button, and there you can buy, depending on which age you wanted to buy your chickens or rooster at. You just buy what you want. They'd be automatically added to your pen. Spinning around, you can see we have our silo system, and very straightforward. We have a pan dump right on the right-hand side over there for dumping off all our grains. Go into the silo, and then our load is on the opposite side. You can see the icon there where the trough is, and we load from the far side. Very similar to anything else. If you've seen it before in Farm Sim, exactly same system. Now, as we walk past the far side here, I'm going to bypass the main barn first and turn around. There is a fuel station right here. Now, this fuel station, you don't need to fill up. It always has fuel in it. But whenever you take fuel out, you'll get charged the nominal fee, whatever the fuel charge is, as you're loading or refueling your vehicles. Just so you know, that's right beside us by the open shed here. And behind that, like I said, the main shed. Now, this is an interesting one because it takes a couple of different things. Right here, we can store bales as well as pallets. Like I said, this is the first time production chains has been in mobile farming simulator, and now we have pallets because of that. So you'll need to store pallets at times, and this is where you'll do it. You'll simply drop your pallet off, and it'll be stored inside the barn. Now, to get the pallet or bale out, simply walk up to this icon here, click on the button, which unfortunately we have nothing in it right now, but if there was something in it, a menu would pop up and say, hey, what do you want to pull out? You'd tell it what you wanted, and it would spawn right here and pull it out of your inventory so you can go sell it, feed it to your animals, whatever the case may be. Now, in addition to all of that, in behind the barn, you're going to find a sell or a buy point for seed, herbicide, and fertilizer, similar to our fuel. This is always stocked. You just buy it here. Basically, you pull your vehicle up that you need, whatever commodity you might need, and you will fill it up and be charged the nominal fee. Now, across the road from our farm, there is a cattle barn. However, we currently do not own this cattle barn. It acts just the same as our chicken coop. However, we have to buy this. So simply walking up to the shopping cart here, we can hit the purchase button, and it's going to tell us, yeah, it's going to be $254,000 to purchase this. Unfortunately, we cannot buy this. We cannot take out loans or anything like that right now, so we don't have any money to buy this with. So you'll have to save up money in order to purchase the cattle barn, but it will act very similar to our chicken coop. Of course, there's more options, more feeding options, and maybe we'll get into that as we progress through the game. You do have a manure pit on the far side here, which will be coming in useful later on as well. And of course, slurry the cattle make. There's all sorts of things. We'll have to go through that as they become available. Now, let's take a quick look at the PDA or the map, however you want to call it. You can see our main farm is somewhat centralized right here. We have 3 fields, 1, 2, and 3 that surround our main farm. There's the cattle area like I just spoke to that we went around. Now, there are about 20 fields, I believe, is our total number in here on the map. They're all at varying prices and varying sizes, most of which, actually all of which, are fairly square map or fields, I should say. However, that's all right. Let's take a quick look. If we wanted to buy one of these fields, we should be able to just click on it. It's going to tell us right now. It's $118,000 for that small field. The other thing to make note of, guys, is we can't sell our fields. Once you own them, you own them. So field 1, for example, here, 1.49 acres, it's owned by me. I can't do anything else with that. If I want to go to this big field, however, that's the biggest field on the map. It's $833,000. I can also click on various points to see what they are and tag the place. I can't quick visit anything that I've been able to see so far. I can just tag them. Just be something to make note of, I guess. So if I wanted to go take a look at the dairy, yeah, I can tag it. I can't quick visit from this screen. So there you go. That's your main menu. You can, of course, enter and reset vehicles from this menu as well. So for instance, my 4755, I can just jump right in that right now. And you know what? That seems like a pretty good place to go from here, guys. Let's talk about the starting equipment. Like I said, there's no difference in game difficulties. Everyone starts at the same game difficulty. You're going to get the same farm. Everyone starts the same way. So this is the equipment you're going to start with. Now, you can go ahead and sell all your equipment off and start with different types of equipment, different pieces of equipment than what they give you base game, but this is what everyone will start with to begin with. So first tractor, we have the 4755. We do have a small cultivator in behind it. That is base. Now if we tab over, we've got two Massey 3670s. This one has the weight up front. We've got the planter in behind, the Howard planter, or cedar I should say, in behind it. And then if we keep on tabbing over, we've got another 3670. This one here does have a small wagon that's pulling. The other one had the weight. This one does not have a weight. It just has the wagon. And then lastly, we do have a Dotsvar top liner combine harvester with the matching header. So that is pretty much it, guys. You don't have a huge amount of equipment. One thing to note, if you decide you want to get rid of the header and knock the header off this to drive this across the map, it does automatically get the trailer. So the trailer is automatically connected. If you've never played a mobile farm sim before, this is the way you get your headers to have the trailer. That you don't have to put a trailer or the header on top of a trailer here. It does it automatically for you, which is kind of nice. So I think a good thing to start with here, guys, we need to basically do what the tutorial would tell us to do anyways. We've got a field that needs to be tilled, we have a field that needs to be planted, and we have a field that needs to be harvested. Those are the main core functions of Farming Simulator which need to happen. So we might as well get started with that, and we can discuss things as we see fit. We'll drop this in. Now I'm going to drop down the cultivator, drop that in, and we should be good to go now. Perfect. Now, of course, we can hire a worker in this mode. We can go in cab view. Everything still seems to work right as you'd expect here. Back and forth. There is no cruise control on Nintendo, at least that I've seen so far. On iOS and Android, there is a cruise control function if you're max out. At least it was working on the preview build we saw. If you maxed out, very similar to Farm Sim 20, it will lock that into that speed. It didn't do it for the lower versions of the speed though, so you wasn't really a cruise control. It was like almost like a throttle lock almost, if that makes any sense. Now, just like previous Farming Simulator games, you can always hire a worker to do this work for you as well. Just basically line up the equipment you want in the field, hit the worker button, which is A, and it's going to hire a worker. I can now get out of the equipment, and the worker will just continue working until his field's done for a nominal fee. You're going to watch my prices decrease there. And there you go. You've hired a worker. They'll do the job for you. Now, while the worker is working on tilling up that one field, I think we should probably harvest the second field here. We'll get right into this and grab the header back again. It'll automatically connect if you're far enough away from it. Otherwise, you may have to hit the B button and have it connect up. We're going to unfold. There we go. Unfold that combine, and it's going to automatically fire up for us. And from there, we can just start harvesting our field. Now, one interesting problem that comes in right off the bat, there's no way to change your straw swath. If you played Farm Sim, the full version, once again, you'd have a straw swath, or you'd have the windrows that would build up. You can't change that right now. You're always going to get these windrows built up. There is one interesting problem because of that. We do not have enough money currently for a baler, so we can't bale those with what we currently have. We could probably sell some equipment and get a baler. That would be what would have to happen, but just starting up, there's no way to bale this if you're just going to stay with the base equipment, guys. So you're kind of stuck in a way where you'll have to just till this under basically and destroy all that straw without using it, which is kind of a bummer. It just is what it is. You just don't have the finances yet to really take advantage of it. So we can kind of cut through this quickly. Once again, we can hire a worker for this if I simply hit the A button, and we can just walk away and let him do his thing, and he'll just go ahead and harvest this until the hopper's full, and then we'll have to go help him out. Well, lastly, guys, we do have to plant as well. Now, once again, we can change between the different types of crops we have. So you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner there, we currently have wheat. You've got barley, you've got oats, canola, soybeans, sorghum, and grass, and oilseed radish if you want as well. So you can change that. And that's just with the cedar. Of course, the planters do different things like your corn and your sunflower seeds, just like you'd expect. Of course, cotton's in there somewhere as well. I didn't see cotton on this one, which has kind of caught me off guard. I thought I might see it on this planter, the cedar, I should say. No cotton on this one. Interesting. Anyways, we'll plant, you know what? We'll plant some canola for now, and we'll go from there. So let's drop this in, similar to how we've done in the past. And away we go with the little Massey Ferguson. And we'll start planting some canola now. There we go. Excellent. Once again, I'm probably going to hire a worker on this so we can go help out our harvester, but there you go. That is the basics of it. Those are the three main functions. Now, while we're doing this, I should also let you guys know there are weeds now. There are in Farming Simulator 23. So You will need a sprayer to take care of the weeds. There's no stones, unlike Farm Sim 22, no lime, but weeds are now a thing you'll have to deal with, or not. If you decide not to, it's just you'll take a bit of a hit. So be aware of that. Also, I should mention the crop types. Like I said, the base crops from Farming Simulator 22, if you've played it, are all there, guys. So we've talked about most of them already, but you're also getting grapes and olives, which were the new crops in Farming Sim 22. You're also getting them in Farm Sim 23. The difference with those, well, you can't plant grapes or olives. They're already placed on the map for you, so you have to purchase the field or area that those are in order for you to utilize them. Yeah, they are more of an end game style crop type for sure, because yeah, you definitely have to focus on that. And same goes with cotton. As you guys know, you pretty much have to focus on that crop type. Of course, there are BGAs you can see in the distance as well, I should mention. That is standard fare now in Farm Sim, so you're going to see that everywhere. And multiple sell points around the map as well. All right, guys, Harvester looks like it's getting a bit full. I'm letting everyone else work their fields. We'll go over here and help out, grab a little bit of the crop that they've taken off already. Oh, this wheat's a little bit bad. We'll zoom out a little bit so I can see a bit better here. And there we go. Start harvesting that. You take off this crop, and that should be enough. He'll be able to do the rest on his own. One pass here, we should get enough out of that hopper. We'll let him finish off this crop. It's perfect. And work has been completed. Let's get this back over to the farm. We'll unload this on the way, and then we can dump off all that wheat into our silo. Easy does it. Just pull up beside, automatically opens the trough, and pipe goes right to where I need it to be. And there we go. Unload this. Should be more than enough space. All right, let's go put this away. Look at everyone working away in the fields. The rest of our crop here, the rest of this wheat can just go right into our silo. Once again, very similarly to how it's always been done. Just simply pull up to the drop pan here, and it'll automatically start dumping the wheat into the silo. You don't have to worry about it after that. Easy, nice and easy. There she goes. Perfect. Love it. All right, so that's it for the harvest. We'll see if we can get the rest of those, that plant or the seeder, as well as that cultivator to go up and take care of the rest of these fields. All right, the 4755 has finished off doing what it needs to do here. Let's dive into the field here. We gotta till all this up, unfortunately. It's kind of a mess, but it's gotta happen. I hate doing this, but we got straw in here that has to go to. It's got to be tilled up before we can replant it. Unfortunate, I know. I'm going to hire a worker. I'll just let them work away on this for the time being. Should be good right about there. And, yeah, away we go. Yeah, I might have to come back and fix a little bit of that. We could have got a lot closer, couldn't we? Yeah, my bad. My bad. Now, while we're waiting for one of our workers to finish planting that field, you know what? We should talk about workers a little bit more, because they've been made a little bit smarter in Farm Sim 23. Now we can actually send our workers to go do different tasks around the map and kind of let them do their own thing to get them around. Good way to get equipment around the map. So, for instance, I'm in the 4755 and I'm just kind of parked here along the side of the road. Let's see if I can send my worker up through this rocky pass here on the left-hand side. So I'm going to bring up our map. It's going to save first every time, so make sure we don't lose anything. And from here, I'm going to select that tractor to kind of go up through this canyon. Say we can send it to the shop. Maybe we had to go to the shop or something. We'll say set that as our destination. And let's see if we want to, we'll put it right inside, right over, I don't know, like something along those lines right there. Sure. Right trigger, push down. And yeah, like that. Perfect. Now, you can see it's already set. Well, the 4755 is driving to the target. Let's go back and take a little look-see and see how we're doing, if we're actually moving or not. There we go. So I am not driving right now. This tractor is driving on its own. We have a worker that's going to try and figure his way or her way out through the canyon. Not bad. It's a good way to get equipment out, and makes life a little bit simpler, especially for mobile, to get them across the map sometimes if you need, you know, get something moved from one side of the map to the other. This will help out. And of course, they will do tasks you can take to unload, to cultivate a field, to spray a field. You can just tell it to go to that field and start spraying, and it will try and lane path itself there. We haven't tested this too much yet, but it seems very similar to, once again, Farm Sim 22, which is what this is all based off of. So there you guys go. That is the basics of Farm Sim 23. Of course, there's quite a few things we haven't quite touched on yet that hopefully we'll have a chance to look more in depth on in the near future. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, and don't forget to slap the like and ring the bell while you're at it as well. But like I said, we've hit everything. Like I said, this is still a preview build. Still more information to come. There might be some updates to certain things by the time this is released. And you know what? We're going to probably be sending some stuff into Giants. We've noticed some terminology and things that don't quite make sense. But regardless of which, this is where we're at right now. This is Farm Sim 23. Pretty darn good. So stay tuned to the channel. We'll be posting some more videos on this very soon. So hopefully you catch those. Thanks for watching today, guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Have a great day, folks. We'll see you next time.